my beautiful friends. So I'm so glad that you're back this week and I'm happy to be here. I have a little bit of time and I wanted to make sure that I delivered as promised a look into a journal entry of mine from the time that I was going through binge eating. This was actually written down on October 17th, 2013, so 7 years ago, and this was about 5 years after my struggle with binge eating began. And I titled this, No Shame. So here we go. I'll start reading. I want to reveal the painful parts of my past, and I will do this openly and honestly. The fact that I can now talk about it is a huge improvement from the prison I once felt confined to. I used to be too embarrassed and afraid to share what I was going through. Now I realize opening up about my struggles is the key to unlocking my prison cell. Sometimes I feel like one person on the outside with a completely different internal world. Restrictive dieting and overexercising led me to feel famished and undernourished to the point of no return in the form of all-out binge eating episodes. All it could take is one bite of a food item not on my diet, and I transformed from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde. No joke. And just to pause there, have you ever experienced that where you just think, oh, I'll just take one bite, and one bite just sets it off? It's like, I know for me at that time, that was a huge trigger. And it took me a while to realize, wow, if I just take one little bite of something, all of a sudden, I'm this completely different person. And we'll continue. Once it starts, it as in the binge eating, my mind is in complete disconnect from my body. I feel completely out of control. My mind will be asking me to stop, but my hands will keep reaching for more food. I feel conflicting emotions of self-hate and the need to deprive myself, and self-love and the need to nourish myself. I can eat beyond capacity and still not feel satisfied. Within minutes, I will have had an enormous amount of food consumed. My stomach will be so full that it feels like food is pushing all the way up my throat. And I can only stop when I cannot possibly take another bite. At that point, I will be sicker than sick. The momentary comfort quickly dissipates, and thoughts of failure flood the very depths of my being. It feels like I am a complete failure. After this happens, I desperately want to take it all back, but I can't. I am even unsuccessful at multiple purging attempts, which leads me to believe that I can't even succeed at having an eating disorder. And at that time, I had honestly attempted to purge, and I don't know if I'd say unfortunately or fortunately, my body does not like to throw up. So even when I have the flu, I will hold it in and hold it in and hold it in, and it's very rare for me to throw up. I feel worthless. At night I can't sleep. I feel so angry about this all, and I don't know how to release my emotions. By morning, after a binge, my body is swollen, my tummy is bloated, my skin is dry. I am utterly and completely down in the dumps, depressed. I have dark circles under my eyes. My skin, my hair is dull. My nails are brittle. I feel I am aging rapidly. I've developed digestive issues, and worse, I restrict my eating in the days that follow in an effort to try and make things right. Throughout this time, I am still working out and trying to maintain a healthy persona. The more and more I reject myself, the less and less I recognize myself in the mirror. I have felt hopeless and helpless and wondered if life would be better without me in it. I have felt sad and fearful and so alone. At times I wonder, does anyone even know the real me in my full entirety? I've been who I think people want me to be. I haven't been honest with others about my hardships because I haven't felt safe doing so. But because of this, I have a hard time relating to others. Most importantly, maybe I'm not being honest with myself. Maybe I'm not accepting my own faults and failures. I feel ashamed. I know better than to restrict nutrition and gorge food, but I can't seem to stop. My behavior is out of control. Emotionally, I'm holding on by a thread. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't feel confident revealing my shortcomings. I've wondered if doing so would make me vulnerable and weak as a person, so I suffered in silence. My whole outlook on life has grown from bad to worse. I went from being a leader to a loner. Then when I realized that I didn't want to go through life isolated, I went from being a loner to a follower. I've gotten to a point where I just want to be loved. I just want to be seen and heard. My self-worth has spiraled down to nearly nothing. I've lost my independence. I've become a full-force people pleaser. And the more I've forced conversations, the more people push away. I'm empty and hurting inside, and no one seems to care. No one seems to understand. And the more I shut down, the less people seem to notice. Is there no longer any substance to my being? I just feel empty. So then I go on and I continue to say, finally, I gave up. I stopped trying to force things. I stopped placing my value on relationships. I stopped restricting nourishment, and I started accepting that things weren't perfect. And I realized that the only way to truly move forward was to face what I was rejecting. I stopped hiding from my problems and learned to open up about them and embrace them. I stopped clinging so tightly to the pressure to be successful. I just let go. I stopped trying to be more than, and I decided to just be. I accepted myself above the acceptance of others, and in the process, I learned to be my own best friend. I discovered the tremendous power of self-love. Some people think that being healthy is a sacrifice. I don't agree. It's a privilege. The worst thing I could do is take my health for granted. I have this amazing, fully functioning body that does so many cool things for me, it's unreal. The fact that my heart is beating is a miracle in and of itself. My revelation came when I realized that no one truly cares about my looks as much as I think they do. I realized that some of the most beautiful people I've met in life are those who care less about how others perceive their looks. The people who have touched me or inspired me the most have the insides figured out. They have the personality that makes them more beautiful the more you get to know them. I was so focused on my pain, my looks, that my health took a back seat. When we experience suffering in our lives, we naturally want the pain to go away. But sometimes God can do things through our pain that cannot be accomplished any other way. My pain is for a purpose. My heart is being refined. My beauty is being developed on the inside, rather than merely on the outside. We want things to go reasonably well, and we don't want to suffer. We don't want hardship. But that hardship may be the best thing for us. God, I pray, use my weakness to develop my strength. I'm not ashamed, not anymore. The past, no matter how ugly or painful, holds the key to our power to heal, inspire, and contribute in a way that only we can. Hide the past under a blanket of shame, and that power is lost to all of us forever. So, do you currently struggle with binge eating? Can you relate to any part of this past journal entry, this journal entry from 7 years ago? I know, looking back at it, as hard as it was for me to put myself back into those moments and those feelings that I was going through, was a little bit difficult for me. It can bring back past feelings of being unworthy, or just wanting to be understood, or just wanting to be loved or cared about. And to see how far things have gone in my life to where now I feel so happy in my body and grateful for what I'm able to do. I have the ability to walk. I have the ability to run. I have arms that carry my babies, and I'm able to enjoy eating food without all of these self-imposed restrictions and limitations and anxieties that we're not meant to have. And so just to go back there was difficult. But anyway, my whole point in this is that was kind of the first time that I was able to kind of talk about the past, talk about binge eating, talk about my shortcomings, and begin to heal. And what I would love for you to be able to do is the same, is to be able to say, like, yes, I do struggle with this. And I feel that's one of the first steps, is just to say, yes, I struggle with this. And I'm not going to be ashamed about it either. Because you don't have to be ashamed. Back when I had first developed binge eating disorder, I remember searching on what I was going through. And at that time, binge eating was not even a recognized eating disorder. And I remember looking through and thinking maybe it was like an obsessive compulsive disorder or something along those lines. But today in the United States, binge eating disorder is the #1 eating disorder. So I know that this is a lot more common than we realize, especially those of us who are going through it right now. And so just know that you're not alone. There's no shame in these struggles, and there is power in sharing our story. And so I just encourage you to take one small step today and just drop a comment. Admit, yes, I do struggle. And it can be as simple as, a heart emoji down in the comment section, something like that. And just what that will do is two things. One, that'll show me that you're there, and that will open the door for me to be praying for you personally. And two, most importantly, it'll show you how courageous you are and how brave you are, and that you don't have to be shameful of what's going on. And one of the interesting things about keeping things secret is that it's often said that our secrets keep us sick. And keeping these feelings of mine secret made me very, very sick. And so I want you to have the freedom to move forward and not to live in shame and not to be in that prison cell, but to be able to unlock that door and to walk out and to have full, complete freedom around food, around social situations, and just in your life in general. And I think once we tackle this major part of our lives, we can go on to tackle so many more. And so that's my message today. I hope that was helpful in some way to you for me to share. And I care so much about you. I hope you are doing wonderful in your journey, and just know that you have my support fully, and that you are doing an amazing job. Just seeking out help right now and listening to videos like this are going to help you along this journey of yours. I look forward to meeting up with you in the next video. So have a wonderful day. Bye.